Hi everyone, welcome to Paranormal Footprints on the Things Network, along with the Scottish Paranormal Investigation Group. We're quite privileged to have them on with us tonight. We've been out on investigation with these guys, and it's definitely worthwhile. So welcome, thanks for coming on, guys. I know it's a wee bit short notice for yous.
No, that's fine. How are you?
We're good, pal. We're good, Ragga. Right, it's such short notice, but thanks very much for coming in.
Yeah, the paranormal. Enter the paranormal.
Good stuff. So, how are you getting on?
Aye, all right, aye. I'll be out tomorrow. A private location tomorrow, so this is going to be our third time.
Is this the one you posted?
Aye. It's a really interesting location. Twice we've been and we've had some good activity, especially on EVPs. David caught some good EVPs. Like dead clear. I don't know if you've heard them on the S.P.I.G page or that. If not, I can send them to you.
I know, we've watched them on your S.P.I.G. There's some really good EVPs there. And that's
EVP master, so yes.
Hi, David does some good. He does some good work on the EVPs.
Very good.
So, well, we hadn't really been out investigating much. The last time we were out was obviously yourselves. It's just trying to get our team together on the one go because we've been working heavy shifts and stuff. But aye.
There's been a lot going on in the background regarding like fundraising and stuff and events that were coming up, etc. So we've been quite busy that way.
See, to be honest, it's not too bad missing investigations now, by the way.
I know.
You ken that night we went out, it was absolutely shocking, wasn't it? I mean, that was ridiculous.
I'm just more hit up quick.
That was paranormal mental, actually. Stuck to the one room because we couldn't get outside. It was that bad. So, and it's freezing as well. So you've got to be careful when you're travelling about at places, especially in the early hours.
So in case people don't know who you guys are, could you maybe give us a wee introduction to yourself and how you came about to be in the paranormal and what drove you to go in this field? Because let's face it, it's no a general field that everybody likes to go in, do they?
That's fine. Hi guys, so we're Scotland's Paranormal Investigations Group. I personally started the team up in March. Started the Facebook page and that in March, and it kind of took off from there. First, it was like 200 members, and I was checking it every day, and it was 205 members. But I've had investigators come and go. Usually, you'll know that yourself. It's for some people, they might not fit in, and it's nothing against them whatsoever. So started in March. We've travelled a good bit. I've now got Liam, Kaylee, David that can't join us. I've actually got somebody coming along on a trial tomorrow night.
Oh,
brilliant.
Yeah, we're looking for an investigator.
I was supposed to tell him I was coming.
So we've not been together. It's not even been a year yet. But as I said, there's been people that's came and people that's went, and I'm quite happy with Liam and Kaylee, David. We all got on well. We understand each other, which is the main thing with the paranormal. Liam actually won a competition. That was when we reached 500 members, and it was to take 2 people out. He'd never experienced it in paranormal, but when he came on that investigation, a couple of days later he messaged me, and he's like, I loved that. Hooked right on it with some good activity, and ever since it was dedication, which is the main thing that we're looking for.
I know Kaylee's one.
Kaylee's one of the ones like that. Kaylee, you want to go to investigation tonight? When? 10 minutes? Aye, no bother, let's go.
Because you were the first one who said, I definitely, I'll come on the night. So you were right up for that.
David as well. David obviously can't join tonight. He's working and stuff, but I can't fault any of them at all.
Well, so, me and Sam will 100% back you up there. See, you wouldn't know you've run away each other for that long. You had gelled really quickly. Ken, when you were doing the investigation with us. And obviously we just let you lead that night. One, because we had no equipment. Two, you knew the place you had been before. So I will not get in that road. We'll not talk about the equipment.
You mentioned the names, Johnny.
Definitely took after. To be perfectly honest, when there was investigators coming and going, and it was honestly stressed me out so much. And just because I've got so much passion for paranormal. I've done it for over 15 years. I was in and out teams, for all the years, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to try my own. And at first, it was me and my pal that started it. Then he kind of slipped away from it, and then I just thought, well, I'm just going to gamble here and just try and get a team together and go out and enjoy
Yeah.
it. So, and I came across Kaylee, Liam. I worked with Liam, so I've known Liam for years.
Oh, brilliant.
Found David with an advertised. I was looking for an investigator, and he messaged me. Got him out to Dilcarran.
Aye.
I was happy with him. He said he was dedicated. We were talking about kind of ideas what we were coming up with, and just took off for there. So here's hoping the investigators I've got the now stick around, you know.
That's it. You've got to gel as well. You've got to have that connection, because there's nothing worse than standing with a group of people and you're like, this isn't working.
Aye.
It's
You
the
need to have
energy you
that
need.
trust for each other, don't you? You've got to have that wee bit of,
They
like, you need to know what each person's going to be doing.
Aye. And it's commitment to the commitment and dedication. It's something you've really got to have the passion to want to do to go and do investigations and to do like kind of the after stuff, you know, going through all the footage and whatnot. So you really need dedicated folk that are going to kind of stick by you.
It can be bloody tiring.
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Mind numbing at times too.
See, you've been putting silly things on the page, or no silly things, but just to tick it out. Even stuff like that, because my mind goes 100 mile an hour, and I'm a wee boy when it comes to things like that, all excited now. But just that.
Thanks, honey.
Hello, Lois. So Liam, you want to say anything? I'm going on different take now here.
Well, obviously, before I even was out in that competition that I won, before then I had nothing. I'd never witnessed it, and I'd never art anything. I mean, so since August, that's where I've been into it. I mean,
did you believe, or were you a skeptic?
I was a bit of a skeptic. I knew there was something there. Life doesn't just end. You don't just go disappear. So I always had it in my mind, there's something that goes on after here, you know what I mean? But then after that first night out, I was blown away. Blown away. Just, you experience something that you can't put into words, so you can't go, oh, I know how that happened, and it's just a case of, you know.
What was the first piece of evidence that you kind of seen that made you think, holy crap? Can you remember your first proper bit of paranormal activity?
That you thought, that's no right?
Before we came up with a human pender box, it was human pendulum, and I was the pendulum.
Right.
And I can't describe that feeling of getting pushed about, pulled about, you know what I mean? You can't describe that. And it was just syncing up with what was asked, and I'm like, you kidding me on? And it just went.
Aye.
It's amazing. You could just stand there for ages, and then next minute, you know, you just feel like you're going to move, and you've got no control over it again. And it is actually a good job you've got somebody standing in front of you and behind. Otherwise, you'd be face planting.
Aye.
So
I like your method. I like your method, like the blindfold and like obviously with the earphones and stuff and pointing. It was good because it wasn't consistent to the fact that yes was one way, no was a certain way. You kept changing it, which was good.
Aye.
It's like when Shelley was a pendulum, you kept changing the direction of yes and no. So you never knew.
I couldn't hear anything, you know, and I was getting all these voices through the earphones. I kind of slipped up and never really spoke at the beginning because I wasn't right sure what I was meant to be doing, right? I will put my hands up and say that. But then I was getting stuff through and I was like, I have to say this because I didn't even I totally forgot that your name was Liam at the time. I actually forgot that. So when you came off and you were telling me that, and I'm thinking, this is pretty cool. I love it.
Oh, no, it's certainly good.
It was good. What about them?
You can't describe. You can't. There's so much that happens in that small activity you're doing. You're just like, oh, like what? You know, you just can't put it into work.
Nah. What about you, Keith?
Oh, I keep trying, but when you go, what's he got?
That's all right. That's your hyperness coming out in your rigger. It gets that exciting.
I think it's got the Rangers settled now. I'm all excited. The Rangers sleeping.
Aye.
I first started, I've only been doing it a year. First place I went to was Greyfriars in Edinburgh.
Favourite place?
You've been there, aye?
Hannah's.
Oh,
Hundreds of times. I've been twice. It was just where I was on somebody's supporters and they said that their supporters could come along. So it was, before that, it's not something that like if somebody was to say to me like 2 years ago that I'd be doing this, I'd be like, aye, right, man, anyone's. It's not something that I was ever really interested in. Not that I was interested, but it wasn't something I could see myself doing. I wasn't like a skeptic. I did believe in it, but it just didn't ever think I was going to go out and investigate things like that. So, but and they said that the sports could come along, so I went, and it's just one of the ones. Once you start, you just want to keep doing it.
You get the bug, don't you? It's like an itch.
I made one of the other lasses who was an R supporter. We both went to Greyfriars, and we just messaged each other and started doing it just us two. And then we went to quite a few locations, and then that's when we done a collaboration with S.P.I.G, and it just came from there. It's
just blowing up.
Greyfriars is pretty special. So
it's once you start, I think you just it's something that I love doing, and something I'm passionate about. So you may you do it, and you want to keep doing it.
that's it.
Aye. It's just like a bug. You just get adrenaline, and you just have to keep going and doing more and more and more.
Aye.
That time, obviously with the double ghost box, don't know what you call it, with the earphones and the blindfolds, and Johnny and Sam had both got
Double blind
the ear-
spirit.
Aye, that one was fascinating. I would love to try that in other locations, Ken, just because of the. I mean, there's nobody else does that. I don't know. I've never seen anybody doing that before. I don't really want to give too much away, right? Because folk will be copying it left, right, and centre, right? But
That's what we're kind of aiming. Like so other teams. I've not really seen other teams do it, so I thought, well, we can try that, and then if it takes apples, if you guys are out, you can go. We've seen this, we'll try that, and then it'll kind of take off for there.
well, while you're there, then you can explain to everybody what that is and what happened last Tuesday. Was it last Tuesday we were out?
Tuesday before.
Aye.
Tuesday before. Well, you want me to
Aye, you go. You can tell us about it.
So, have you done like the blind spirit box? Just the blind spirit box?
We have done that, but we used an SP7.
Right.
But it wasn't the same as the necrophonic app.
Well, basically, it's the blind spirit box. Instead of just using obviously the one person with the earphones in and the blindfold running the spirit box or the necro. Our aim is to basically get two, as you know yourself. So 2 people blindfolded, earphones in, necro running, all the spirit box, and they just stand silent. And then eventually, we've had it a few times. It's like a conversation, which it did start on Tuesday when we were out. So we kind of arranged to kind of match up. Well, it's been said, for instance, Johnny said behind you. Then I think it was like less than 5 seconds. Sam said behind you. They can't hear each other. So that's the good thing about it. They can't hear, they can't see. They don't know when somebody said something. And then all that noise for behind me, and it was like, whoa. But just to match that up, I find it more interesting that way because it clarifies it a bit better. Because if you've got people having a conversation with each other, then you're like, well, hold on, this is matching up.
Aye.
It was kind of like we were conversing with each other, like arguing in a way. After like watching it back, it was 2 different spirits, but trying to have a conversation with each other. But it's like at one point, I think Johnny says behind you, and then I says behind you in the room, and Johnny said someone else, and I was like, shut up.
Aye. It was an interesting chain of events that what happened, but you two were saying the words, and then we heard the noise from behind us. You locked in the room, then Johnny said in the room, and then to shortly know after that, the meter that was in the room started going red.
Yep. When we started finishing it up, I was saying, right, if you've got any other answers, spirits, you can you can tell us, look, that's us, we're going to finish it. And then I'm pretty sure Johnny said, don't go.
He did, aye.
That said, goodbye. Now, the thing is, they cannot hear.
Bless you. I remember saying bless you.
Bless you.
Like bless you.
Well, we done it at Ilcarin, and it was Kaylee and a previous investigator, and it was like they were arguing with each other. But it was coming up with like bum, and then Kaylee would say hot, and then it would say run, and then Kaylee would say no. Like it was matching up, but it was kind of getting quite aggressive.
Aye.
So at that stage as well, you're probably best getting in and finishing the session, because also it could drain you so bad. You know what I mean?
Aye.
It takes energy away from you.
The thing is, see the old Ilcairn Castle, I'm pretty sure there was a big fire there, was there no? Ken,
It's,
so like,
aye, there's not a lot to left of that anymore. You know what I mean? I think it's just a face, and then you've got on the side, but there's not much left of it.
aye,
You
there
can-
isn't.
I think down in the tunnels. That's where the activity was in the tunnels.
I didn't
But I-
bottom.
But I think that was the first time we tried the double blind spirit box, and then just after that, well, do you know what? We'll get a try.
I'd quite like to try that in there.
Melissa's asking, do you prefer old school methods or new methods in the paranormal?
I'm personally open to anything. I think a lot of teams now kind of they start using more like kind of like recent stuff, not recent, but like modern stuff. But a lot of teams would rather use just old methods, i.e., just come in yourself, you're an EVP, or whatever, and just asking questions, walking about, using your own senses to pick up on stuff. But technology obviously just went a long way now. So this came in handy. But you've got to bear in mind as well, a lot of that might not be paranormal. That's why you'll see yourself, we always try and debunk. Like, was it the wind that caused that bottle light up? Maybe the wind blew the ball, or the aeroflux as that went, or maybe it was the wind that's caused that.
Right.
So we always try and debunk until there is no explanation. That's why I like old methods as well for the EVP side of things, because you're asking questions and then you're listening back.
Aye.
And as you listen back, it picks up. And you're like, right, well, clearly maybe
I
spoke.
feel no everything's paranormal, and there shouldn't be a group out there that everything they do is, oh, it's paranormal, it's a spirit, it's a ghost, it's this, it's that, it's that. You need to think logical as well, along the signs. I will be at the new. Is it windy? Could that be blowing this? What's happened out there? Is there mats? Is there rice? Is there mice? Is there rats? Is there what? Is there wild animals in the building that are scuffing things up? You do have to have like a logical
Aye.
thought to it as well.
Well,
like fire extinguishers.
an example, we went to a castle a good few months ago, and one of the motion boards was on the stairs and it was lighting up all the time. So we were like, bear in mind, it's pitch black, so we just see this light. And so we're like, right, we're getting some activity. But we had an action camera on it, so we went back and looked at the footage. It was actually a mouse that was running by the motion. That's what was causing it to go.
Right.
So, but again, you could have played on that and went, no, it's paranormal activity. But we always check. And same as we'll take 2 or 3 pictures at the ones. The location we're going to tomorrow is where David captured a picture, and it's me standing in the doorway, and it actually looks like somebody's trying to cling on to me. But I took no well. See, for a couple of days after that, I was ill, and so we went back the second time and we recreated that picture just to see if it was anything that was causing it, REM pods, anything at all. But we took it a few times and the picture did not match up to the first one. And we'd done it the exact same angle, the REM pod was there, everything was exactly the same, and the picture did not match up with the first picture.
It'll be interesting to see if you get the same feelings after that investigation the more a night that you go to the last time. Do you feel like you got maybe a wee spirit attachment there?
I felt, seeing the night, I felt fine, absolutely fine. And then usually the next day I'll run through some pictures, and David or Lee and Kaylee, whatever, we'll all run through our own pictures and stuff like that, send some over, think about this. But David saying this, and I'm like, right, I'm going to try and debunk this in my mind, because obviously the pictures are in took. I don't know, but when you look at it, it does look like an attachment. It looks like an attachment. And honest to God, see, for the next 3 days, I was in my bed. I had to phone in sick. I couldn't go to work. I could not go to work. I was ill, and I got hot dead quick. But I was in under the covers with a big hoodie, one of your big thick hoodies, one of them on, and I was still frozen. And I'm not like that.
Well, saying that, how you were saying about an attachment, right? Our medium, Sharon, she's not in tonight, but obviously she was looking at the photos that had been taken from our investigation, and there's actually a photo of you, Rigger, and you're standing side on, but see, like down at your pocket area, there's actually the outline of a skull on the, I'll get it and I'll send it to you. I'll put it up and let you see it, but you can actually see the skull, the face.
I don't remember seeing that since Sam either.
Do you know?
You need to send it over.
I'll send it over, but it's an amazing photo because the first thing Sharon said was she says that guy there, she said he's got a gift.
Right.
She says
there you go.
To develop. She said he's got a gift. She says, look what's on him.
And Sharon she's really, really good. Like, she picks up on everything. She's clever. She's just got she blows us away, Sam, didn't she?
Aye.
Really, with the evidence that she's actually brought to us. So 100% believe everything she says.
Aye. She's great.
The location we're going to tomorrow, when we went the second time, David actually took his daughter. And she's a sensitive, she pick up some stuff. And honest to God, right, my eyes are starting to water here, right, because it freaks me out, right? I know, like, I get excited and all this, and I can't explain it. My eyes start watering. But in the location we're going to tomorrow, there's a kitchen. Now, that was for years and years, and it was always a bedroom. It converted into a kitchen. I think it was early 2000s, wasn't it, or something like that?
I think it was.
So there's a kitchen door there. But the kitchen door's never been there. So when we went in, David's daughter went straight into the kitchen that was a bedroom and pointed to the kitchen door and said, that door's never been there.
Wow. So she knew, and
like straight away, that door's never been there. And I know it's David's daughter, and some people might think, but David might have told her, but I honestly believe David, when, like, he's not one of them ones, he's like passionate about it. And he's all, but some of the stuff she was picking up was absolutely mental. But that kitchen door, she walked in, she just went, there's something right in this room. And then she pointed to the kitchen door and went, that door's never been there. That's just the way she said it. Like, that door's never. And I'm like, oh.
Love it. I know we had done that just blows me away, because I know then it's like somebody that, see if they were to go to a bit and they know, right, and they're skeptic and they know something about that bit that nobody else should know, right, and then somebody comes in that can actually tell them things about that location that nobody else should know, and this skeptic 100% knows because they had all the information, and here this person comes in and just blows it out the water. I'm like, yes, I love it.
Don't know if you'll be able to see that. Look, that's on your side, Rigger.
Wow.
You can see that.
You need to send that.
I'll send that to you, but that is right. There's the actual full photo, right? That's a full photo.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right, but that's doing like above your waistband. Basically, that is on your side.
Wow.
Pure.
I'll send that to you.
I wonder if that...
I'm freaked out just looking at that.
Sharon thought that was the male energy. Now, Sharon wasn't there, but Sharon picked up on the male energy, and she thought it was maybe the male energy that had attached itself slightly to you. And that's what appeared in the photo, like the skull. Like
it could not, because when we were doing the blind mirror box behind you, and then the noise directly came from right behind me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was the aeroflux had went.
Mm-hmm.
The picture could have been either it was taken before or obviously it was taken after, but it's a high chance it could be that the spirit had made that noise, and that
When-
noise that happened all right.
When was that picture taken, Sam? Was it like a screenshot of the video?
No, it's an actual picture. There've been pictures taken. Somebody must have been taking pictures, and we'd sent them in the chat to Sharon. We'd put them in the chat for folk to see.
Aye.
And Sharon's doing what Sharon does best. She was just like looking through them, and she's like straight away, bang. She's like, look at that.
It would be good to see the picture was took kind of close to when the noise happened.
Aye.
Maybe if we can get a time on the picture then, because we left quite early, didn't we? We left about 11 o'clock.
Aye. We'll find out who's got that picture
I
and
don't even
when it was
ken whose
taken.
picture it was.
I'll have a look through mine, but I don't think it would have been mine because
Oof, that's scary.
Might have been David's, because David's quite good with the camera. He'll like.
He just walks about and
Aye, he's always taking pictures.
Mhm.
that was a bit, Ken. And I've not seen that picture, so it's blown me away a wee bit. Don't know
I just
about you.
remembered. I'm trying to find it again, and actually, I'm multitasking. I'm looking at my phone at the same time to actually see if there's a
So-
time on it.
Well, Sam's doing that, right? Where would be your ideal place? Where is the best place for you to actually investigate? I'm just going about you. We'll go to you first, Kaylee. Right? Where's your? Obviously, you've only been doing this for a year,
Mhm.
but what place would you say is one of the best places to investigate in your experience so far?
I don't know. I like a good abandoned like hospital or something like that. That's one of my favourites.
Aye.
Just recently, I finally managed to get into Hartwood and that bit, and I loved it. It was good in there.
Did you get into Hartwood though? Because I've known that some people have went to Hartwood and not actually been able to get in.
I see like the nurses' quarter bit.
There's always a way.
I managed to get in, but it's been shut up since then. So, but I like a good abandoned like hospital asylum type building.
Aye. That's Spirit Vision, Spirit Vision, Paranormal Research. They tend to find a good whack of they places, you know, and I think that's when we meet up. This is the plan to go into a bit like that. Love me and Sam's always been into the kind of places, but the one we were all at, it was the first time we'd ever set foot in. So. Well, it would have been great if it was dry. We could have explored more of the area to Ken, and it would have been good to go through the day to be able to see what it was like. So that's the plan anyway. Go through the day and then wait till it gets dark and then start investigating. Or a dry day. What about you, Liam? Where's your best place?
See, I'm an abandoned when you get a certain vibe with an abandoned place, you know what I mean? So it's just it's kind of the history of the building then kind of flows through it, you know what I mean? Then it's just left.
Aye.
It's like you're left kind of with a capsule. In some places you're left with a capsule, you know what I mean? You're looking at it and you're going, wow, is this what it actually looked like? I mean, we went to, I'm not going to give the name away just now, but it's a farm we went to, and wow, that was an active place. Very, very active. We actually did quite a lot. I mean, a lot of activity there. But yeah, again, it's abandoned, and it's that's more where the vibe comes for me. You know what I mean? That's where I enjoy it. I kind of go, oh, what was that? You know what I mean? There's no equipment like actual tellies or stuff. It's kind of so you're like, whoa, do you know what I mean? That must have been something, you know. So abandoned, absolutely always abandoned for me.
Old nursing homes fascinate me too. Like there's a nursing home down there and it's shut down the new, isn't it, Sam? And I would really love to get in there, just because I know that nursing homes are all haunted.
I've done 2 care homes. They were brilliant as well.
Aye, they're good.
Somewhere in Paisley I'd love to get to, but I don't know if it'll ever happen. Right?
Is it an abandoned hospital by any chance?
If it is, you might know of the one.
Aye. Is it actually still standing? I thought it was I thought it was all houses now.
No, they only converted one wing to houses. The rest of it's still abandoned, and they convert houses quarters into houses as well, or flats. But the rest of it's still there. Yeah, it's
I tried it a couple of months ago, but couldn't get in.
We done the Coates Memorial in Paisley. The Coates Memorial. We done that, didn't we?
Didn't find it highly active, did you?
No.
What isn't it?
they're at the moment they're renovating that, so everything changes, you know.
Aye, a little bit of disturbance.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What about you, Rigger?
I'm going to say abandoned, but I'm going to take into consideration the time of the year it is. Obviously, abandoned's a bit of a pain during the winter.
Aye.
You've got a lot of contamination, i.e. rain, wind and stuff like that. I like paid locations, but a lot of paid locations are hyped up. A lot of them are hyped, then people make a quick buck. But since we've been S.P.I.G, I'm going to go about the location that Liam said without saying the name. Also, because the location you want to go, we don't mind sharing the location. But honest to God, see the activity, it was absolutely unreal. David went on the stairs, get drained right in front of our eyes. This is the one I was telling you about. It was like we started getting a story together. Getting this.
I love that.
Edward was coming through all the day, came through the paratech, came through necrophonic, came through the spirit box. Edward, I think it came through EVP as well. Edward. So we're getting this story, and I started provoking. Like, right, Edward, blah blah blah. The footsteps right above us. Now we were all of us were on the ground floor. It was footsteps. Just at that, the REM pod drain. Kaylee and the other lassie went up the stairs, and we were down the stairs. Me, Liam, and David, and we're like, right, Edward, if you're up the stairs with the lassies, touch one. Right, so that was the end of it. They then came in after about 20 minutes. First thing they said, honest to God, something just touched me.
That's right, aye.
Just touched me. When I started provoking Edward, all the motion balls went off at the same time. The K2s were going off. There was footsteps, there was things moving. And it was unreal. Like, I'm 100% going back.
Your demon doll get moved as well, didn't it?
Demon doll get moved on live.
Right.
It moved.
I mean, have you got a name for this demon doll, Rigger? Is it just called the demon doll? Hey, you know that is that its name?
Demon doll. Demon doll.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody would love to see this. It's one of the things that should be your what do you call them? The mascot.
Do you know, I was going to bring it on the live. I was going to bring it with me. I've got to set it all just up the back there. But
honestly, that should have been a thing. I think that should be your team mascot because
my missus has got stuff. So I can't set up there because it'll fall off. My nightmare before Christmas stuff. That's all right.
Going back to something you said about, obviously when we were on investigation together, you said that you'd asked for spirit to touch somebody. Can you remember at the end of the night when I was walking out, I moved my top away like that and my crystal had fell off?
Aye.
My angel's aura, I had it tied with my neck and then it literally untied and fell off the chain it was on.
Yeah.
And you were like, spirit to touch somebody. Just shows you.
The thing is with locations as well, look, a lot of people think, we'll go to this location tonight, we'll get tons and tons of activity. Within the first half an hour, we'll get loads of activity. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes it does, but the main goal is, it doesn't matter what location we go to, we always respect the location. It doesn't matter if it's one wall, just a wall of castles, like, we'll always respect it. It doesn't matter. Obviously, a private location, we'll respect it. Paid location, respect it, because you've got to respect the spirits as well. You can't just go in and go, right, spirits, right, do this and do that. You've got to show them some sort of respect. You've got to show them comfort as well for them to come to you.
They're not performing monkeys, you know what I mean? They're not going to be on, they're no, here's another one. Let's go out and perform the night. What's your thoughts on if you go somewhere and it's like, seems to be like the same place, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that the activity lessens because it's like continually being used, the energies are continually being used, and
there is a location that we could go to all the time and we'll still get activity. That's no saying there's going to be more activity or less activity or whatever. It could be that spirits just a little, here we go again, or it could be all brilliant. But I think it's how they see us individually as well.
The energy itself.
It's like a living person. If they're not going to take to you, they're not going to take to you. You can't go back to somebody that's not took to you right. go and touch that ball or whatever, they're going to go, right, chase yourself, I'm low. But there is locations that we've been to a few times we've not had much, but then we've went another time and we've had plenty. Like the location in Mora, the twice we've went, we've had some good activity. The second time was the best. That's when David brought his daughter. I don't know if that's because she was there, kind of opened more doors, so to speak. But she'll not be there tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see the Mora. It could
What
be.
happens?
It could be that the spirits are. They recognise, they know what we're all about. A lot of the time when I'm calling it and stuff like that, if we're running an electronic or EVP or something, I'll always ask, do you understand why we're here? Because there's nothing worse than trying to contact the paranormal, the spirits or whatever, and they don't even understand what you're doing. But that location was good because David got an EVP, and it's the one that said, what was it? The cow with the stupid telephone?
The dodgy telephone.
And it was so clear. It was like the cow with the dodgy telephone. It was so clear. And I'm going to have an open mind tomorrow because I'm going to try and communicate with this. And I think this might be the main spirit. There is a main spirit there. We can try to communicate, so I'm going to do a bit of provoking tomorrow. Just because of the owner, he's wanting to know, like, who this is. And we're kind of getting closer to it and closer and closer. So hopefully tomorrow we can get the answer, get in contact with this main spirit. But again, we could go, this could be the third time, they might come no playing tonight. Also, the paranormal in it's.
Aye. What time do you go live tomorrow? Is it 9?
Going to be going about 9.
Aye.
But we're going to do the static thing as well, because we've not seen any teams do that, where it's like we'll just set up a static camera, so whoever's watching live can concentrate on us and keep an eye on the static.
Watch this, 40 million teams tomorrow will be doing a static.
And the human panda box, if you don't know what that is, I can explain it, not a problem.
He's in his element.
Aye. The S.P.I.G tutorials.
What we did try as well was the blind Ouija board.
The
blind Ouija board. So
blind Ouija board.
So there was 4 years it went to education, and so I think it was David was doing the talking. Me, Liam, and Kaylee had the blindfolds on. David would ask questions. The planchette did move, but we cannot see what it's moving to. It's just to kind of try and debunk the whole, but you moved that.
Like the pushing and you're answering questions.
We don't know, also we can't spell out a name if we're blindfolded.
Yeah. No.
But the first time we tried it did go to goodbye. It was going towards goodbye, and don't know what goodbye is when you're blindfolded. It's like you spin it and that, and then you just set it, and then that's you blindfolded, just to kind of debunk the whole moving situation.
Yep.
See, watching yous when you realise now when yous were in the farm, yous were in the farm or was it an old school, and that's the first time I saw you do the blindfolded spirit box. Now, I ken that's the SDS method, and I know folk have done that before, but when you were doing it, I think we came in Pendulum Day, actually, and then there was, David, he was in the back, and he was pointing that way for yes, that way for no, and the fact that he's blindfolded, that the way you investigate is so that there is no way that anybody can turn around and say, oh, well, he knows where he can hear, he can see. He can't see because he's blindfolded. He can't hear because he's got this app going on in his ear. But you're saying with the Ouija board, I think that's absolutely fantastic. And I think when you're trying to really be professional and try to get the truth, that's the way to go about it. And that's the way more folks should actually be investigating. That's what I like about you guys. The fact that you're down here, but the fact that you try so hard to make sure that there's no way that people can actually say, well, he could hear that, or he could see that, or she could do this. You know, you are trying to discount every possible logical way that the answers could come out the way they're coming out. You have debunked all that, and that's what I love.
It's trial and error at the same time. Also, because with the human panda box, honestly, God, it took us ages to come up with this name, the human panda box, right? But the whole fact, as you were saying, if you're standing in the middle, even though if you're blindfolded, you can still hear those ask. You can still hear once that question is finished. So automatically you're thinking, I need to go in a direction here which could cause you to sway. But with the earphones in, you don't know when this person's finished this question.
Yeah.
And the first time we done it, we get good responses. And I think it was in the B&B, and it was actually the son of the owner. And he's a total skeptic. And he went in the middle, earphones on, blindfold, asking questions, pointed to yes, pointed to no. And he was actually going yes, and he was going to the direction where the yes was. And he was going no, and he was going to the direction where the no was. And now he can't hear, so he doesn't know when he's finished. So
I think
it's
that was
things
the
like
one I watched. That was the one I watched, and I just thought, Ken, these folk have actually. I love that. That was the first time I thought, Ken, the first time I really watched you live, and I thought these people know what they're doing. Ken, there's no way folk can just. There's no suggestion about what way you're going to go. I mean, a genuine person doing the human pendulum sitting in the middle should never be thinking, well, I'll just go that way and just kind of turn what way you think the answer's going to go. But there is people that does that, and obviously for effect. But when you can't hear, all your senses are taken away from you, so you're just going in the direction your body's moving. Actually, and that's obviously how I started watching these, because I thought these are genuine people.
I like the energy that we all had when we were all investigating each other as well. I like the way we just all sort of flowed with each other. It's like we'd been out before. It was, we just all gelled.
That's what you want in collaborations as well. You want to go out and meet people and go on, because then it does help the investigation. You know what I mean?
And then Kelly and Liam saying the same word at the same bloody time on the way. Twice.
Funny enough, I thought we were talking about the place we're going to tomorrow.
Aye, that was right. Because us three were standing at the back, yapping, and then also I just looked, I was like, "You pair are freaky." You just basically know the same sentence at the same time.
It's big HQ.
me and Shelley do that.
Me and Sam's known each other for what, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, Ken. So we do that quite a lot. Like, she'll call me a spooky bitch, right? But you haven't known each other for that long, have you? Just
me and Kelly, no, just basically since
August.
Aye.
That's no long into know.
Yeah, about 5 years I've known Liam, but that's been through work.
Like me and Shelley can post the same comment.
Kaylee's
at the same time.
Kaylee, what are you about 5 months?
August as well.
Wow.
It's good. So, he's fit. He's obviously got a good fit. And that's what you need.
That's it. There's no point it's a kind of catch-22, because you could all fit together, but then there's the one person that's not dedicated, or you could all be dedicated, but you just don't go on. That's not to say from down the line that we might not agree on something, because you're going to get that. But at the moment, we go with the flow. We've got plans we're going to be doing in January. One of them is going to be, it's about 1,000 members, so we're going to do a competition where we're going to actually take a couple of skeptics, try and get on a couple of skeptics, bring them out, obviously give them a wee chat, maybe not an interview, but just a wee bit about themselves, and then after the investigation, do another wee kind of chat with them and see how their perceptions changed on the paranormal.
That is going to be amazing. I want to see that. Going back to what I said earlier on about the skeptics, you know, they know about the location, or maybe they don't know about the location, and then when something happens and they're getting all this info coming, and then they actually understand what happened at the location they're at, and their eyes are just opened up. It's just like turning a non-believer into a believer.
Well, look at us with that tour we done.
Aye.
We took members of the public to Greyfriars and to Edinburgh Vaults in conjunction with City of the Dead, and we had some non-believers on that tour. No, by the end it we didn't.
No.
By the end it we didn't know, and they're coming back to another overnight investigation in February.
We had about 26 people that were no on the team. There was me, Sam and Karen and Carly. There was 4 of us, and the rest of them were all on the tour. So we filled a bus and we took them, and they went into the mausoleum. Now, a third of the folk all had sensations of sharp back pains, burning faces, the smell of smoke, the smell of burning, Ken, and they were all feeling that. cobwebs in their face. They felt like there was somebody standing in the corner, you know. So there was like a good whack of folk in that hill tour. They were all feeling the same sensations. A lassie was actually, her face was pure burning.
Aye.
And the amount of folk that says they could smell smoke. And there was this guy as well who wasn't a believer at all, right? But he wore wrist supports. No, these wrist supports are solid, right? Solid, hard plastic. And see, when he came out, he had bruises underneath the wrist supports.
Aye.
Right? And he also smelt burning. And he came out of there thinking, oh my, must be something to it. Because other folk were coming out with bruises and else with bruises and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he came out with bruises on his wrists where he shouldn't
Under
have,
the supports, aye.
because they're supporting his wrist for injury to keep him steady. And how you cannot get bruises physically under a wrist support if you've got. So it was great for them all to come away from that experience. You know, we weren't investigating. It was a City of the Dead tour. In the Black Mausoleum, and unless you're in the City of the Dead tours, you can't get in there. So for them to go in and experience that, and it was all like sensations of maybe what the Covenanters were feeling. And obviously there was big fires down in Edinburgh and the Grey Fires as well. Anyway, so it was like they were picking up on the residual energies of the kind of the past.
Yeah,
love it.
That's what it's all about. With the skeptic thing now that we're talking about as well, just the fact of taking two people, let's say, and total non-believers, and then at the end of the night, them kind of thinking, is there something? Because I think I would feel so good about myself. Not that I'm trying to force everybody to believe in the paranormal, but just the fact that their minds has changed. But then on the other side, you've got, if you go to a location and get negativity.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Like, oh.
They still walk away skeptics.
Has there ever been a place that you've been to that it's completely freaked you out and you're like, I'm not going back there?
No yet. For me, no yet.
What about you, Kaylee?
No, the only place I don't really like, I went to, I don't know what to say name, but it's a location I went to and I didn't really like. I think I went 2 or 3 times. I just didn't like the feeling when I was in there. I just felt dead uneasy all the time. And well, there's been 2. The place that we went to had been 2 times before that, and I didn't like the feeling when I was there. But when we went with yours, I felt fine.
Aye.
I don't know if it's just been the time I was there previous. I don't know what it was, but I just didn't. I didn't feel. I felt quite uneasy.
I'm like that with one place.
I'm going to say that's power station.
I'm like that at the power station. Nothing like.
Oh, I was there.
Feeling it.
Eh?
Is that the one?
You just don't feel uneasy.
Aye.
Oh, yeah, you talk about.
It's the one, the mining bit, the old power station at Power the Mines on the Barney Road. No, Ken.
Horrible.
I don't really get. Oh, you go.
Sam's terrified for this place, right? The actual bits are right out. And I don't want a story, right? But the only thing that freaks me out is through the day because you can see where you're walking and I'm feared for heights. So I don't like getting up these stairs. But see at night time, I'm right up there. But that was the place I went. I don't know, I posted it on the group page and I went in there and I did an investigation in there myself.
I
just recorded that, right? Because I was there fear. I'm no fear of that place, right? I don't feel fear in it. But Sam just, there's something in there that just doesn't like her.
Doesn't like me. Really, clearly doesn't like me. I'd went down a couple of years previous and I was all right in one side of it, but as soon as I went to go into the opposite side, I was like, it's like someone blocked me from going in. All the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. And then I tried to go in and I couldn't go into the certain area. And as I was walking away from it, I kept looking behind my shoulder because I felt like there was somebody like watching me all the time. So then obviously I went in again a couple of years later. Shelley was there. I put my big little knickers on and went in. And I thought, right, I can do this. It's fine. We had the app on and stuff. And we got halfway up the stairs and it said, Sam, stop, get out.
It was the first time we used the necrophonic app. was the first day we'd ever used it.
Aye. Sam, stop, get out.
And that
So
was
that's enough for me. I'm away. Ta-ta.
That's
See
how. If I said that to me, that's when you go in. Like, I'm about to get out further. I want to see why. Go in.
but
I'm
I
100%
stayed.
the same as you, Kaylee. I'm
I
straight in.
stayed.
If I go to a place and it makes me feel I wouldn't like uneasy. I wouldn't go back. Like, I would go back. I've never been to a place where I'm like, no, I've refused to go back
Well,
here.
I did stay. I stayed in. And then Shelley was there with other team members on an investigation, and they asked what it wanted, and it said, want Sam's life.
Wow.
And I actually said that when she wasn't even there. And then,
Want
then I
Sam's
went
life.
again with another team, and the REM pod stuck on the steps where everybody's name gets called out on these steps. But the REM pods were off, but it wouldn't switch back off again. And I've never seen that happen before, and they never ever seen that happen before. And they've got years of experience behind them. And I thought, that's strange. I think I've been in there about 5 times now.
I hate it.
And the last time I went, I was in there doing a wee investigation myself, just braving it, but I lasted 20 minutes. That's all I lasted.
Yeah. No, for me, that place, no way.
The Alloway Kirk is a bit in the old Alloway Kirk. Okay, the Burns is Alloway Kirk.
I nearly got a spike through my foot. Remember up climbing the fence?
I don't think that was up your foot head. I think that was up your bahookie. You really get sliced in half there.
See, that's the thing as well. We're going to abandoned locations is the amount of hazards that there can be.
Aye. That place was talking the power station, aye.
Maybe going during the day and looking at locations. I'd actually been talking about that to the team. Maybe going like during the day, kind of marking out where the hazards are, because there's locations you go to. Prime example, we went to caves, right? And I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. Me, Liam, and David went to caves, and I'm not even joking. It was a matter of life or death. If you slid, that was it. That was it. That's how dangerous it was, and it was pitch black, and it was just all mud. And if you went one way, that was it. You know what I mean? So,
it was very wet. I mean, you got to a point where if you'd taken a tumble coming down a bit, you just keep sliding because it's all mud, and then you're off a cliff. It's like 40, 50 foot drop into rocks and water.
Nah, you're mad, to be fair. That wouldn't be me.
I wasn't at that one.
Places, but no places like that. Definitely not for me.
You just want to go and you just want to go and communicate. You know what I mean? With the spirits, that's when you know the love comes in. Like on Tuesday, I think I said to you, Cheryl, that also I've got new investigators and stuff, and I can see how dedicated they are, because a lot of people wouldn't go in that weather.
No.
Yeah, no.
Usually long distance and out in that rain, so it shows you how dedicated you are to communicate.
Aye, Sam nearly drove in that night. Nearly never happened.
It's things like that. Again, you don't know
what mood I was in.
Aye, but it's what we say, is you need to be dedicated, and you need to have a right passion for what you're doing to be able to withstand some of the conditions that you do actually go to.
Look at Craigie Castle with me and you.
Aye. It was bad. I mean, we were trudging through cool shit. I'm sorry, I'm swearing, right? It's past the watershed, right? But oh God, I had to drive here with my bare feet because it was that bad.
You got your boots stuck.
Aye. I better get you. Driving instructor caught driving home at 12 o'clock midnight with no shoes on. Try to explain that to him.
It's all worthwhile, but I don't even just make the attempt to get to them and then realising, even if you don't get any activity, it's just the whole fact of even just going to it, believing that you're going to get some sort of, because you need to be kind of open-minded as well. Just believe that. Like the ball I brought on Tuesday night, the Wayne's one that I stole off of Wayne, we first used that in the school that we done, and honestly God, me and Kaylee's like, just want that ball to go. We just, it's going to go constant, just go, because it would be absolutely amazing. But I'll be taking that tomorrow. There's been a lot of kids that came and went in the house and stuff like that, so I'm hoping that we're going to get some activity with that ball. That's once we set up a static cam, that'll be left with the static cam.
Yeah, Well,
So,
if anybody's watching and they haven't even joined your group yet, they need to go over to Scotland's Paranormal Investigation Group and then watch yous live tomorrow, and then they will actually get a sense in how professional you
You'll
conduct
love it.
yourself when you're doing your investigation.
They'll absolutely love it. They'll not be disappointed.
we're still
It's just
learning with the like, we don't
Aye.
really do like, but when we first started way back when it was like a whole different team, we were kind of concentrating on lives, but then we were kind of taking ourselves away from the paranormal because we were too busy getting a signal, too busy setting up. Is that phone sat right? What if we put it here? What? So I was like, it's too much hassle. We'll do away with it. But as time gets on, then also it's a new team again and stuff like that. Then, but when we go live, it's like we'll keep the phone ways, so as people can see what we're seeing. They can get the action that we're getting, and then obviously with the static one is something new that we're trying. Because then that gives you, I'll watch my brain, but I'll keep an eye on the static. When we first done the static, a lot of people were commenting saying they seen an orb. The K2 is big enough. Because some spirits want to communicate when you're there. They might just be wanting to left lane and then go, oh, what's this? Oh, nobody's here. I'm going to go now. So it's definitely a good thing as well. But again, we're hoping that takes off as well. But it's all trial and error. It's all part of doing what you do.
Of course it is. We've got quite a few things planned for next year, but see, just to be able to go, because we've got a couple of new team members, like the younger, so it'd be interesting to take them and see how they react, because one of them's right spiritual and he picks up on a hell of a lot of stuff. He's just starting his spiritual journey, you know, more so now that he started with us. He just seems to be, he's so, I actually can't wait to see this boy once he's fully trained. He's actually training himself doing tarot cards, right? Now, the boy is highly gifted. I would go as far as to say, I don't even know what he is, but he's really, really gifted. And he doesn't even ken the rate he's in potential, but I can see it in him. And I can't wait to see what he
join
does.
the development class with me.
Aye, he's doing it himself. He's blowing me away. You know, and he says, see if it wasn't for me getting him, like, I started teaching him to drive, and then when we were on the local radio station, he was in the car with me while I was listening to ourselves on the radio. And he's like, I never knew you were into all that stuff. And he says, because this is what I've been doing. He says, I'm actually going to get a crystal ball. And so then he started firing away all that stuff. Then I go on to the spiritualist night that we done for charity, and then for then on he's decided I'm going to get the cares out. He's hitting me with all that stuff, and I'm thinking this boy is seriously gifted. I actually can't wait to watch what he's got today. Like, he'll know about criminal lines. He's really nervous. He needs to build up his confidence, but. I watch this space for this boy, because the boy's, I think he's going to blow us all out of the water, to be honest, with how gifted he is, and he doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah.
So,
well, guys, I'm going to round it up here because we're nearly at 10 o'clock. I'd just like to thank you all for coming on tonight. It's been great to have another wee chat with you. If you haven't checked these guys out, please go in and have a wee look. You won't be disappointed. Yep. And if you'd like to stay on the chat for a wee while, guys, just after we've finished, that would be appreciated. Just I've got something to run by you, if that's all right.
Yep. Excellent. So thanks very much, guys. All right.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
And if you haven't joined this big crew, if you can jump over and get a wee join and stuff like that, competition.
And let's get Paranormal Footprints to 1,000.
Paranormal Footprints to 1,000. Yep, I'll share these out.
1,000 for Christmas.
We'll get a collaboration going as well.
Oh, yep. Aye, 100%. We'll wouldn't have been the last one, because that was just fantastic.
Thanks again, guys. It's been absolutely brilliant. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.